Hey guys, what's going on? RetroGamer here, and welcome back to another review featuring the 2.4G wireless controller GamePad Pro. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought I would touch another 2.4G wireless controller GamePad because I didn't think there were any more. But I was informed that there's a different version, the GamePad Pro. So, if you have seen the channel before, this is my most viewed content, the 2.4G wireless controller GamePad. This thing right here is very well known. It's a cheap little game stick device that plays some retro games and arcade games. Now, the emulation on this thing isn't the greatest, but for the price, it's really not that bad. But I was informed that there's a pro version, so I thought, why don't I look at it and see if it's any different, see if it's any better, and we're gonna talk about that, show you, what's different, and if there's any new games on here, and just give my general thoughts on it and see if it's any better than the Lite version. So as we see on the front here, it says like game on the box, and it kind of makes it look like a PlayStation 5 with the stick and the controller. Not a whole lot else going on here, 3D, 4K. On the back here, it's going to show the product features and the specifications. It says how it's a open source system running on Linux, some type of RetroArch program. So it looks like it might be easier to download newer games on here. With the older one, I couldn't figure that out, but with this one, it looks like it's easier to download like other games on here. I didn't touch that part because I wanted to see, what are you getting out of the box? What are you going to expect when you buy this thing? So I didn't download any new games. I'm just going to show you the games that are currently on here. But if we open up the box, we'll check out a lot of the new things from this version. So, one of the things new is the controllers. So if I get the controller from the other one, let me just grab the other one from the box. This was for the old controllers, were these PlayStation 2 looking controllers. They feel fine. They were good. I have no complaints about this. But these new ones, these are really nice. They're nice and big, and the sticks are really soft. All the buttons feel really soft too. You have two analog sticks, D-pad, A, B, X, and Y, start and select. It's the on button down here, or the on switch, you flick it off and on. And then L1, R1, L2, and R2. These feel really soft too. Everything feels really good, and you have all the buttons that you're going to need for the games that you're playing. As well, we'll take the other one out of the box here too. And we'll also grab the cord here. So this cord is supposed to power on the game stick. I say supposed to because, this one just doesn't work. I don't know if it's too thin of a cord, but I have a cord here on hand. I have a lot of these just lying around. These are just micro USB cords. So if you happen to have this, or maybe the 2.4G Lite version, and it isn't working, I would recommend trying to get a different power cord because this one just doesn't work. But this is the power cord, and then this is a dongle for the stick itself. If we take out the actual stick, I'll show you what it looks like here. So it's a white little game stick, and it says Game Stick Lite. Game Stick Pro, because I was just going to pull out the Game Stick Lite. So they're basically the same, but one says Pro, one says Lite. And then if you take off the little cap, this is for the HDMI to plug into your TV. And then here's the little dongle for the controllers to actually work. You plug it in right here, if I put it in right. And then you would plug in the power right there. And then inside here is a little user guide. It's going to be both in Chinese and in English. You're really not going to need it though. It's you just plug everything in and you're ready to go. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to hook everything up, and I'm going to show you, just give you a rough idea of like what you're getting, show you some of the new stuff. I'm not going to hook it up to my capture card. I'm just going to hook it up to the little screen that I usually have here on the side. So we're going to hook everything up, and I'm going to show you what you're getting for this new 2.4 wireless controller GamePad Pro. Okay, so when you get everything hooked up to the TV, this is what you'll be greeted with. It has a really nice interface. The other one didn't really have anything to talk about. It was just a little game list. It really didn't have anything special about it. But this one has a really nice presentation and a lot more games on it, such as arcade classics, MAME, has Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, it has Atari Lynx, which is a really nice handheld. It has some Capcom arcades, PC Engine, which is TurboGrafx 16 here in North America, and a whole bunch of other things. It has Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. It has Genesis. It has Game Gear. It has Neo Geo Pocket Color and PlayStation. It has a really nice variety of games here. Like, this thing, honestly, is a lot better than the other one. It's really amazing, like, the amount of things I have on here. Like, all the Atari games and everything. The thing I think really stands out about this particular game, not handheld, sorry, this game stick, is the amount of handheld games on here. Playing a lot of these handheld games on TV is super cool. And a lot of these games I've never been able to play before. Like if you go over to the Neo Geo, this little handheld here, I've never been able to play this. I don't own this, and it's cool to play these on the TV. And the Game Gear, I haven't owned that in years. Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color. There's a lot of cool things on here. There's a lot of cool things that they have to offer. This NES thing has a lot of cool NES games. What it offers is a lot of cool NES like ROM hacks and like Japanese games. There's a lot of cool things you could find in here. And like the more you explore, the more really cool stuff you see. You know, you have some really cool TurboGrafx 16 games, and you know, if you go over to the arcade games, you just have a ton of them. I mean, look at all the King of Fighter games, Street Fighters. A lot of these are fighting games, but if you go down deep enough, you're going to find a lot of good standard arcade games. I mean, there's just so much to offer. The one thing that I think some people buy this for are the PlayStation games. Now, the PlayStation games, there's really not any on here. There are very few. But they run a lot better than the Lite version. The Lite version was just a joke, man. They could not run on there. These actually do run. Some of them run better than others, like Resident Evil. I've played the third one and then this one. They both ran fine. Crash Bandicoot, it runs a lot better. It's tolerable. There are other games on here that don't run as good, but you know, I still don't think PlayStation is where this thing shines. I really like the handhelds on here. And of course, you know, the Nintendo and Super Nintendo are good too. But this is what you're going to get out of the box when you hook everything up. I just want to give you kind of a rough idea and show you a little showcase of what you're going to get on here. And I think you're getting a lot more value than the other version. But let's get back to the table and give you my final thoughts on this little device. Alright, so after that brief little showcase, what do I think about this little device compared to the Lite version that's much more common and that everyone buys? Well, I think that this one is a lot more value. These are about the same price too. This one might be closer to 60, but these are usually between like 40 and $50. Like, you can get this Lite version for as low as like I think like $20, but this one I got on eBay for I think it was like $45 or something. So they're roughly the same price. This one just isn't as common as the other one, but this one you're getting a lot more value out of. There's a lot more games on here, and you know, the PlayStation games, while they're still not great, they run a lot better. But where I think this thing shines is the handhelds. The handhelds on here are super cool to play. The Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the Game Gear, the Atari Lynx, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, those are really cool to play. And of course, you know, the arcade games and the Atari games, like everything on here, I think, except for the PlayStation, everything on here is really cool. And I actually think this is one of the best little devices I've seen in quite a while. You know, it's not amazing, sure. But, you know, for like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or something, this is great. Or someone who just wants to, you know, relive some of those old games that they played, you know, back in the 90s and stuff like that, you know. Like, this is a cool, like, nostalgic piece, right? It's not for the hardcore collectors like a lot of us, you know, like a lot of us retro game guys, right? It's not something that you're going to buy to replace your entire retro gaming collection. That's not what this thing is made for. It's just made for the standard people who, you know, want to play these old games again, or just think that this is a really cool device, I think that this one is actually a really good value. The Lite version that everyone finds on Amazon for like $20 or $40, it's just not that great. It's good for what it is. I think it's not horrible. But if you're really looking to get a good one, I would highly recommend this one, because this one offers everything that the other one did and like much more. I just think that this one is a lot better of a deal. But guys, that was my review on the 2.4G wireless controller GamePad Pro. So guys, RetroGamer, if you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys back here with another review. See you guys then.